Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nothing ever stays the same. Amen. Ever changing, ever moving, ever growing. Even the smallest of things change. And as I walked into the studio to tape today, my technical director said, "I've got a couple changes for you." And one of them was just a simple, we have a countdown clock that I use. I have to, tape for only a certain amount of time. TV requires an exact amount of minutes and seconds. Then you can't go over, and it's hard if you're too short to do a filler. So I've been taping. My messages are 27 minutes and 5 seconds long. If that's crazy. 27 minutes and 5 seconds. That's how long I have to talk. And I have a countdown clock that I watch and keeps me on my toes. And anyway, there's a new countdown clock, and it's much better than the old one. And we've had the old one for years. And as he was talking to me about it, that's what I thought in my spirit. That's what God dropped in. That change from God is good. He doesn't just change things to change things. He doesn't just, on a whim, change something. There's a purpose and a plan. And it may not always be easy, but it's always going to be God. And his hand and his plan are always in it. And as I look at this new countdown clock, I think this is what God has for this year. I just believe that this is what God has for the church, for his bride this year. That he is going to be able to change things for our good. Change the way that we worship. Change the way that we have his word revealed to us. Change the way we gather in fellowship. Change the way that we are defined by his name in this world. Oh, I just feel that God's going to change things. We had the first Sunday after the new year, a man in our congregation who operates in the prophetic declared that he believed that everything that had been lost in 2021, that God was going to find for us and redeem it and give it back to us in 2022. And that lit my spirit up. I was sitting on the platform, getting ready to lead worship, and he stands up and he gives this testimony of how God spoke to him about that. And I just believe that this is what God is trying to speak to us. That change is coming, even small things, but even those small things will multiply and they will just build on one another until we are a totally different looking church. I think we've kind of messed up through the years as a church. Not a specific church, but the church all together. The church globally. We have messed up. And I think God is going to begin to already really change things. So I'm grateful for the new countdown clock. I'm grateful that I have someone who in this studio takes good care of me. And I just believe that honor will go to him for what he does. But anyway, that's my little spiel before we get into the message today. So I have a message today that remarkably always goes along with what God just fed to me. And it's called Well Done, Grasshopper. Well done, Grasshopper. I am a child of the 70s. I was a lot of TV in the 70s. TV was coming into its bigness in the 70s, and there were so many shows, and one of them was a show called Kung Fu with a man named David Carradine. And he was a trainee. He was a monk. He was a warrior, and he was coming under the tutelage of a blind monk who would say things like, "Well done, Grasshopper." But he would go to him for wisdom, always seeking wisdom. And he would go to this blind monk who had supposedly this remarkable sage wisdom. And it always came out in sayings. And I wish I could remember some of them because they really were very good. But they were also just of the world. And as I was praying about what to do for TV today, God spoke and said, we're going to see a lot of change, obviously, and we're going to see how to make some decisions. We're going to need some godly wisdom. We have to discern the times. We have to discern spirits. We have to know directions and what to do and how to follow God's plan for us. So how do you seek wisdom? What is it that you do to seek wisdom? How-to books, good start. Google, Facebook. Do you ask friends, pastors, family? Do you pray? Do you seek it in His Word? Do you ask God? How is it that we seek wisdom for the things that we need for this world? Well, according to the Scripture, wisdom only comes from two sources. Only two sources. It either comes from heaven or it comes from the world and the devil, Satan himself. And I wonder if we know the difference. Now, I'm going to turn this here at the end. This is all about living a great life. Believe it or not, what I'm about to teach you is going to come out to a peaceful life. Now, that's some kind of promise, right? Well, follow me. So I'm going to start in James chapter 3, verses 13 through 16, and I want you to see the picture of the world's wisdom. Now, this is God speaking. Understand, this is not just some example of wisdom, or it could be or might be or maybe. This is God defining the world's wisdom. And this is a cautionary tale, because when we sit there for a moment and listen to God's description, God is describing what the world's wisdom looks like, feels like, sounds like, will come out like. When we understand what that looks like compared to what His wisdom does, it's like a chasm in between. That is, you don't want to bring these two together at all. So this is James chapter 3, 13 through 16. Who is wise? Great question. Who is wise and understanding among us all? Let him show it. How do we show that we're wise? Not by the decisions we make, not by what we wear. Listen, show it by His good life. Show your wisdom by your good life, by deeds done in humility that come from wisdom. This is exciting to me. That God says, if you're wise, here's how everybody's going to know that you're wise. Not by what you say, not by the wisdom that you speak or the sayings that you make. It's by showing that you live a good life by deeds done in humility that come from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven. What kind of wisdom? It does not come down from heaven, but is earthly. Here's how God defines it. Unspiritual. This is the world's wisdom. Hear it. Unspiritual, of the devil. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. That's God's defining of world's wisdom. We all want a good life. But do we want what it takes to receive wisdom from God for that good life? Because remember, that's what God said. Who among you is wise? Well, if you're wise, let it be shown in the way you live your life. And by doing good deeds in humility. It has nothing to do with right here. It has everything to do with the life that you lead. And when you follow the world's pattern of wisdom, it says it's unspiritual and of the devil, and it brings disorder and every evil practice. So if you're going to Google for something, and I'm not talking about, what was the dates of the First World War. I'm talking if you're going to a psychic, or you're going to your horoscope, or you're going to someone online and asking them what to do. This is the world's wisdom, and this is wrong for the believer. This is wrong for those who are in the kingdom and are called by the name of God. A good life shows that you've learned how to tap in to heaven's resources. That means you're spending time with the Lord. You see, this is what James is going to tell us here in a second. What James means by humility that comes from wisdom is that when you follow God's leading and God's wisdom for your life, every path, every decision, every notion, everything, you live a better life. His plan for my life is way better than my own plan. And his destiny for me is beyond anything I can imagine. And I will do whatever it takes to get there. You see, the wisdom of the devil, the wisdom of the world, which is usually what we operate in, unfortunately, is all about self-promotion. It sounds good in a logical way, but the focus is way too narrow. It's all about me. It's all about what's best for me. It's what will make me happy, and how can I accumulate more toys. This is the world's wisdom. But when we live a life of self-absorption like that, we end up with disorder and doing things that we never thought we would do. Evil things. You see, the word disorder here literally means confusion. And God is speaking through James through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit and saying, listen, when you listen to the world's wisdom, when you listen to unspiritual, that's what it says, unspiritual wisdom of the devil, there you find disorder or absolute confusion. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? A double-minded man. But if we want a life that we're pleased with, that God is pleased with, a good life, then we need to walk in the wisdom of God. Now, we just read James 3:13 through 16. Let me read to you. Well, let me do this first. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. We do, however, this is Paul talking. Paul says, we do speak a message of wisdom among the mature believers, but not the wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age who are coming to nothing. No, Paul says, we speak of God's secret wisdom, a wisdom that has been hidden or concealed, and that God destined for our glory before time began. There is a godly wisdom. But here's the problem. That wisdom of heaven is hidden. Now, it's not hidden from us. It's hidden for us. I use this picture and analogy all of the time. When we hide Easter eggs for children at Easter time, we do not hide the eggs from them. We don't hide them and conceal them so that they will never locate them. We don't do that. What we do is we hide them for them to find. For the excitement and the joy of finding an egg, we put it in enough place, in an easier place, that they can just find them everywhere. They're not hard to locate, but they have to go searching for the egg, even if it's right there in front of them. Oh, the joy on the face of a little one when they have a whole bunch of Easter eggs that they have found. And that's what God is speaking to us. He said, I'm not hiding wisdom from you. I'm hiding it for you in me so that when you come seeking after it, when you go hunting for it, you spend time with me and I will tell you amazing things. You can only find God's wisdom by spending time in his presence. Oh, you can't just find it by careful thought and study. That would be easy. Quality time with him, listening to his voice. He will impart to us this amazing wisdom. And then as we walk in what we've heard from God, things around us will begin to what? Change. And it will become evident that we're walking in God's wisdom. Evident to be walking. Why should it be evident? Because remember God said back in James chapter 3, who is wise and who has understanding? Well, let him show it in a good life. In a good life. And then God says, I have a wisdom that is not of anything like this world. But I'm not going to just give it to everybody. I'm going to reveal it to those who seek me. For those who seek my presence and spend time with me, this is who I will reveal my secret wisdom to. See, Paul describes mere human wisdom with such a limited perspective. We can't see far. And it's unbelievably incapable of leading us anywhere good. What does the world's wisdom look like? We can't mix the two. We can't just mingle them. We cannot say that, oh, well, it's okay to seek the world's wisdom a little bit because, oh, there are experts in the field of economics. There are experts in the fields of taxes. There are experts in the field of medicine. Yes, there are. But without God's wisdom, we don't know how to deal with all of those facts and all of that knowledge. We don't know if that's the best thing for us. Maybe it's not the best thing for us. We, and as a church on Sunday mornings, used to do a thing called Joys and Concerns, where we would ask people for a joy that they had this past week or a concern that they would have. And the Lord stopped us and he said, how is it that you are delineating these things? Who are you to declare that what this is not a good thing? How can you say that going through what you went through this past week is a concern, that it's not a positive thing, and that a praise is a good and great thing? And what God was teaching us is that He knows, and only He knows what kind of outcome each one of those things will have. It might be that being sick one day was the best thing for me because I was able to spend time with God, or I needed to be home, or something, a fire started in the house and I was home for that. Who knows? So we began to call it all glorious moments. Who has a glorious moment to share? Because we can't determine by our own wisdom what's good and what's not. What's profitable and what's not. What is glorious and what is not. It's all God. God's wisdom is secret and hidden in the sense that it cannot be obtained by mere observation and looking. God's wisdom is above and beyond what humans can perceive in their natural hearts. So what does His wisdom look like? Well, we read James chapter 3, verses 13, 14, 15, and 16. Let me remind you. The wisdom that comes down not from heaven, but the earth's wisdom, is earthly, unspiritual, and of the devil. Oh, those are hard words that experts in the field, COVID experts in the field, They have all the knowledge. The doctors on TV who are spouting this and doing this, and they're using the world's wisdom. But I'm telling you, they might be right in some cases, but their wisdom is earthly, unspiritual, and of the devil. What? Yes, that's what God said. But look at His. Remember, that brings disorder. That kind of wisdom brings disorder and chaos. But look at God's. Here's God's. This is James chapter 3, verses 17 and 18. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is, of course, and first, pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy, good fruit, impartial and sincere, and peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. Now, whose wisdom do you want? Do you want a wisdom from the world that is unspiritual and evil and of the devil, that creates a selfish ambition and disorder or confusion? Or do you want to live a life that is pure, peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy, good fruit, impartial and sincere, a peacemaker? Now, where does this all come? Who among you is wise and has understanding? This is God asking, who among us is wise? Who among us has understanding? Well, let him show it by the good life. Well, the good life is what we just read in James chapter 3, verses 17 and 18. That's the good life. These are the marks of a life walked out in God's wisdom. To walk in God's wisdom is to walk in his peace. You can even walk into a situation where there's all kinds of confusion from the world and problems, and then by the wisdom of the Lord, you can bring peace into that situation. Oh my. That's what it means to, by the word peacemaker, is to bring peace into situations that are not. That's the hallmark of a wise person. You see, I don't have to go to a blind Tibetan monk and seek wisdom. I don't have to listen to all the junk on TV and go, oh, that's where I'm getting my decision-making wisdom from, to what to do with this and that and this and that. Listen, they're only working on what their limited knowledge allows them to see. And what does that do? All that world's wisdom? Again, it's not that it's all bad or that it's all wrong, but it comes from a source that wants to bring confusion. It comes from the source, the enemy, Satan himself, the devil. It clearly says it. That does not come from heaven, this wisdom, but it's earthly, unspiritual, and of the devil. Envious and selfish ambition rule it, and you find disorder in every evil practice. But God's wisdom, oh my, I can live a life that is going to have trouble, that's going to have tribulation. After all, that's what God told, that's what Jesus told the disciples in the upper room. In John 16, he said, in this life you're going to have trouble, you're going to have tribulation. But be of good cheer, have no fear, I've overcome the world. He has the wisdom that we need, not the world. We need to stop going to the world. Stop seeking the world's wisdom and begin to seek what God has for us. How do we do it? He has it hidden for us, but we have to go into his presence to find it. We have to spend time in his word, spend time worshiping him, spend time in prayer and in fellowship with one another. And then God will reveal all the wisdom we need. Why? So that we can be shown to live a good life by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. Heaven's wisdom changes the atmosphere around you. Let me say that again. God's wisdom changes the very atmosphere around you. That's a good life. And walking in wisdom and making peace wherever you go is the hallmark of wisdom. Let me finish this. We read earlier 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 6 and 7, where it said that the wisdom is that Paul's talking about is hidden, and it doesn't come from the rulers of this age. Here's why. Here's what God's wisdom does. Now, I'm just going to read the next couple of verses. I'm going to start in verse 9 of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 9 and 10. Paul says, we speak a message of wisdom among the mature believers because it's written. It's written. Your eye hasn't seen and your ear hasn't heard yet, nor has it entered into the hearts of man the things which God has promised for those who love him. But God has revealed them to us through his Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. Can you imagine? I can't even scarcely sit here with the anticipation of understanding that when I see God's wisdom, my eyes can't even begin to see what's coming. My ears can't begin to hear what I'm going to hear. And my heart is not yet full of all that he has promised for me. Where does this all stem from? Wisdom. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by his good life and by deeds done in humility, not by the earthly wisdom that is unspiritual and of the devil, and where it sows discord and disharmony and disorder, but that wisdom that comes from God, which is peace-loving and considerate and submissive and full of mercy, good fruit, impartial and sincere. Because that's the message that God says through Paul. That's the hidden part of that wisdom. It's not for everybody. It's for those who seek him. And when we do that, eye has not seen and ear has not heard what's going to happen in your life. See, then my life will begin to demonstrate the wisdom that I have from God. And I'll walk out what James chapter 3 says I'm supposed to do. That when I seek God's wisdom, my life is going to demonstrate a goodness. It's going to demonstrate God's wisdom, not by what I say, not by the information I put out, not by if people ask me for my opinion. No, my wise life is going to be walked out in goodness and peace and mercy. Submissiveness, good fruit, impartial, sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace, harvest righteousness. So that's the wisdom I want. So where are you going to get your wisdom for 2022? If you do not know this God who wants to give you that kind of wisdom, will you let us help you find him? He's an amazing God who loves you so much. And he's painting this astounding picture of your life with his, one brushstroke at a time. God bless you.
Thank you for watching today's program, One Brushstroke at a Time. If you have been blessed by this study, would you share your story with us? We want to hear how God is moving in hearts all around the globe. If you have a question, would like more information, or would like to request prayer, please visit our website at brushstrokeministries.com or connect with us on Facebook at Brushstroke Ministries. You may also contact us at Brushstroke Ministries, P.O. Box 2353, Buchanan, West Virginia 26201. Join Jenny Pfister every week at this time to hear a fresh revelation as she paints a beautiful picture of His Word, one brushstroke at a time.